What's up, guys? Um, this is totally uncorrelated and unrehearsed. Um, it's hard to begin. I don't know how to begin it. Um, with my narcissistic relationship, and I don't want to call it narcissistic relationship anymore because maybe they are, maybe they aren't. My toxic relationship. The first I knew something was wrong within the first 2 months. So I dated her for 2 months and then called her in a lie, broke up with her, and then it was like roughly a year later that we started dating again, which was entirely another subject matter of why that happened. So let's set that aside for now. I just want to focus on the first 2 months. It was blatantly obvious to me that there was something terribly wrong with this girl. She was attractive. I was getting laid. I was getting attention. I had somebody to be with. Uh, it was hard to deny. I had been single for, I don't know, like a year or so. And all of a sudden, this really attractive girl is in my life. Sleeping in my bed at night. It was hard to fucking deny. Well, there's a couple of key points in those first 2 months that are actually more than a couple, several. I could probably write an entire book on those first 2 months, to be honest with you. So let me start from the beginning. One of which, the first red flags, is I was with her one night and we were walking out of the parking lot and she said, "Oh my God, whose car is that? Fuck me now." I'm not going to go too deep into that, but so you're going to fuck somebody just because they have a nice car was my first impression. Second impression was we went to a bar and she was like, "Aren't you paying?" Nah. I was like, actually at that time, I feel like my boundaries were a bit stronger, and I was like, "No, I'm not paying for you. Why would you assume that?" Uh, that that night ended pretty quickly, to say the least. When the relationship actually started to evolve, um, probably because I forced it to evolve, uh, it became. She would say weird things like, "If you don't do this, I'll leave you," or "If you don't do this, I'll break up with you." And I mean, I knew it was fucking toxic, right? Like, that's not a normal thing for somebody that's dating you to say. And, I would retaliate and be like, "Don't threaten me." But we see how all that worked out. So yeah, there was definitely a feeling during that time that something was terribly wrong. But what really interested me is that, so I ended up breaking up with her because I called her in a lie. And I was like, it's not acceptable. You're fucking blatantly lying to me. The aftermath of that was very interesting. I mean, granted, this was, jeez, 3 to 4 years ago. Somewhere in that area. The aftermath of it all, I was just after 2 months. Just after 2 months, I was fucking devastated, destroyed. Like, on a level that I have never experienced in my entire life. You know, even after a 5-year relationship, even after a 3-year relationship, I had no concept of this kind of pain. Couple interesting things in that. I Y'all probably appreciate this. It's amazing how my natural instinct knew something, like knew. Only after 2 months, I knew something was terribly wrong. I had switched her name, or her contact info, sorry, her contact info in my phone to Poisonous Parasite. This is only 2 months. I'd only known the girl 2 months. She was in my phone as Poisonous Parasite. I'm not going to elaborate on that. I'm going to let y'all take what you will from it. On top of that, I was just by natural instinct doing I actually don't know the correct term for it. I'll call it maybe reframing or imaginative. I don't know how you would frame it. I would lay in bed at night, going to sleep after only 2 months, 2 months of the shit she had done to me, and I hadn't learned anything, and nobody had taught me about this. It was just kind of something that came natural. Was like imagining her as like, you know, an attacker, and I would lay in bed and envision myself like not taking the attack or fighting back against the attack. It even went to the point where I had, in my mind, she was envisioned as like this demonic, scorpion-like evil being, but with her face on it. You know what I mean? And I would be, like a pure light being. And that really helped. On top of that, I would envision, this is way before I knew anything about meditation or mindfulness or anything, I would envision breathing in like clean blue air, and when I exhaled, it would be an envisionment of breathing out like this black tar poison that I felt like she put into me. And to me, I know this is kind of this is a little bit out on left field, but it was interesting. Way before I knew anything about psychology. Well, I knew a little bit about psychology. I'd been through college, but way before I knew anything about narcissistic abuse, way before I knew anything about how to cope with it, way before I knew anything about meditation, my first response to this was pretty fucking accurate. I had labeled her Poisonous Parasite. I was, doing reframing and basically meditation at night. I really don't know how to put it, but it was so strange for me to think back on. It's because it's like, I almost think back and I look at it and I go, wow, I was much stronger then. But I wasn't. I'm way stronger now than I was before, but it's kind of like I'm surprised by my first reactions. My first reaction was to label her Poisonous Parasite and do all these healthy things like I don't want to say reframing in a bad way, but reframing in like, putting it in perspective, which I was doing. And these meditation processes that I was doing. I had no clue about any of this stuff. I was just doing it because it felt right. That's kind of, I guess, the interesting thing to me is that I was following my gut and I was doing it because it felt right. Yeah, it was, I don't know, roughly a year later, I fell back in the relationship. And like I said, that's an entire another video, but it astounds me that everything that I needed was already there. You know, I mean, yes, the education on all this was fucking phenomenal, but it's creepy to know that everything I needed, everything that was supposed to happen was already there. I didn't deny it. I didn't deny it, but eventually I denied it. And I kept on that path. I think things would have been a lot different. I don't know if this fucking video is going to make any goddamn sense at all, because it's not even fucking making sense to me. I mean, I know what I want to say, but verbally it's not fucking coming out. But just interesting things that, like, the stuff that heals me now is stuff that I was doing naturally by myself. It's kind of strange. I don't know quite what to think about it. I don't know if I'm regretful or glad, or I have no fucking idea what I feel about it. But nonetheless, it's interesting to me. So even if this just sparks your interest at all, I guess it's worthwhile, right? All right, guys.